So the hobo code was used by hobos during the turn of the century, late 1800s, early 1900s, and then through the 1930s depression, when a lot of people were out of work and they were moving west across the frontier through towns, mainly via the railroads. They would catch boxcars and go from place to place looking for jobs, hobos specifically. And they began to develop a code of symbols that they would make up, that they would mark on tree trunks and fence posts and sides of barns, that would tell other hobos you could, if you do some work here, you could get fed, or uh, there's work available, or the farmer will let you sleep in the barn overnight. Uh, Friendly symbols that were helpful, but also other symbols that would tell you to, like, get out of here, or this man has a gun, or you get cursed out here. It was one of them, or also where you could catch a boxcar, because a lot of during that period of time, railroads, and I'm assuming that they still do, they had, like deputies that would patrol the railroad, because there were a lot of people on these trains. You don't see that now, but during the Depression, you would see boxcars, with dozens of people on them, on top of them, between them, because they were, it was the Depression and nobody had any work. And so the code would tell you, well, this is a good place to hop on because the deputies aren't around, or they don't patrol, or they're friendly. So I thought that was interesting. So I created a series of 25 different monoprints that are hand painted and also photographs. And it was an interesting kind of foray into trying to reimagine what the past looked like for the present. And that meant going around Texas and looking for landscapes or buildings or scenes that still look like the period of time from the 1900s to 1930s. And remarkably, there's a lot of places that are like that. I mean, in Texas, some places it just hasn't changed that much. And so I would select these scenes and photograph them. And then I created a way to take the symbols from the codes and implant them into these scenes and make it look, relatively authentic. Because the code itself still survives, but evidence of these codes, gone. All of them were, gone long ago, because they were just so temporary and ephemeral. They were scratched into posts, or they used charcoal to draw them, and of course none of that lasts. So that kind of set me off on actually manifesting this idea of wayfinding and navigating and using the natural elements from the natural world, as well as the vocabularies and the languages and the symbols and codes that we invent or that we utilize, like using a star to navigate, or creating a zodiac in order to tell us what to do in our daily lives.